Welcome you all to Maharishi Kapi Vedic. Today, we will try to find out the answer of a question. The question which is like eternal, since ages, since the moment you get consciousness, you are a child, but after birth, every child takes some years to start thinking and speaking it out. Now, always one question is there in the mind of every person, every human. When will I die? How will I die? Is it possible to expand my lifespan? Okay, based on the past life karma I have done, and based on this life karma I have done, okay, is it like it was predicted that, okay, you will live up to 60 years, 4 years plus minus. Now, you see that, or even if you are a very serious astrologer, you did a very deep calculation. You were able to find out even the month of death. Okay, this person will die on June 2024. One just example. Now, the person says, I don't want to die on June 24. I have a lot to do in my life. So the person will ask you, is it possible that I can live more? Is it possible that I can postpone the date of my death? Now, when the question comes, many astrologers they avoid the answer. They say, no, no, that is not possible. We can't help you in that. I was also like the same. And one day I was just reading Yajurveda and I was reading the mantra. The mantra goes as Kurvanev eh karmani jiji vishet shatam sama evam tvain anyatha yatasti na karma lipyate nare. Now, what it is saying that, O human, you must wish to live for 100 years by doing dharmic deeds. There is no other way for you. God is saying, Veda are the words of God. So God is saying to the humankind that there is only one way for you to live. You have to live more than 100 years while doing good karma. No other option you have there. Then in Yajurveda itself, the instruction is given that every human must keep moving in the future. But how you should keep moving? So it says, Param mratyo anuparehi mratyoha padam yopayanto yadeta. Means, hey death, oh death, you run away from me. And then it says to the human, the instruction that, oh human, keep moving by pushing away the feet of death. Means the death is there. It is. Now here two words are coming. You have to focus on that. Let me move to the slide. Here in this chart, you see that when will you die? The date is there, okay? So it is saying death is when? You say well, there is death, but what is death? Death is different for everyone and it is a particular date. It is an event. It is not a person. It is not some entity. It is an event. Death is an event. For example, someone says that, okay, I will marry on 1st of March. Now, what is that? That is an event. That is a date you have fixed. Now, in that event, you do the weather prediction, you check weather, you see that, okay, a cyclone is coming on that date. Now, what you do? Will you carry the event? You won't. So what will you do then? You will postpone the date. You will say, okay, not on 1st March. We will marry in the June, maybe, or July. You are postponing the date by seeing the bad situations. The same way, for every person, there is a particular list, to-do list we have in our hands. You see, if you want to become a master of Veda, you need at least 100 years to study, to master each part of it. At least 100 years. You want to create children who become the supporting pillar of the nation in future. You want to create a Vedic society. All these tasks, they need energy, they need time. If you die at the age of 30, how you will be able to do all these tasks? So what you will need to postpone the date of death. Okay, I'm not ready for it. Postpone it. We can do that with every event. We can postpone the date of marriage. We can postpone the date of childbirth even. We can postpone the date of buying new property or car. Then why can't we postpone the date of death? Yes, it is not easy as postponing date of marriage. Postponing the date of death is like a fight with your own karma, the karmas you have done in past life and this life. But that is not impossible. That is difficult, but not impossible. So today, we will try to learn how to find out when will you die, how will you die, and how we can change or postpone that date. Okay? So let's continue. Now, first of all, we have to understand that how many lifespans are there. Basically, there are four categories. One is the short life. People who die between 0 to 30 years. They are called, plus minus 4 years you have to take in general, because as a student, you are just learning Jyotish now. When you will become a master, when you will practice it for at least, 200-300 charts, then you will be able to precisely tell the month also. But for now, you are a beginner, you are learning. For the first time, you are learning this technique. So you keep 4-5 years here and there. Okay. Now, someone has a short lifespan, lives between 0 to 30 years. Someone having medium lifespan lives 30 to 60 years. Someone having a senior citizen lifespan, who you call a senior citizen, they are 60 to 75. And there are some people who live more than 75 years. We call them super senior citizen. They all are senior citizen, but that is the target, that is the goal of life. We don't want to leave this planet, our family and life in this. Below 30, we don't want to do that. At 30, you start your life. That is starting with the first Saturn return at the age of 29. You get mature. You start seeing the bigger picture of your life. So this is not a moment when you want to leave the world. It is like that you sit in the plane and in the cockpit and you are just ready to fly. And someone says, now you are suspended from the job. Oh, I wanted to fly. It is the moment where I need more time here. So this is not the time to leave. At the age of 60, with the second Saturn return, now you have completed your maturity cycle. You have learned the life lessons. You are mature now. This is a time when you start building a better nation, when you start your life for a bigger picture. Again, this is not the moment to die. This is at second Saturn return, you start growing to become a god on this planet. Now, I'm not saying Ishwar. Ishwar is different. In English, there are lack of words. That is the issue. You can say deity. It is time to become a deity. Okay, a devata. It is a time to become a devata. It is not the time to leave this planet. 60 to 75, you have created the foundation, we can say, for the society, a better world. But again, you need more time. So that's why God says that at least 100 years should be your goal. At least 100 years. Okay. So these are the four categories. Just keep it in mind. Write down on your notes. Okay. For now, you just listen and understand. You all will get the recording. So just first time you just listen to the recording. Second time you make your notes. Okay. That's the best way to do it. Now, focus on the two houses. I have already in previous class taught you how to find the key for all 12 houses. Okay. Finding the key is most important. That is something you have to do. There are so many divisional charts, but for each house, the key will be in the different divisional chart. Getting the point? For each house, the key will be in the different divisional chart. For example, for 10th house, the key is in the Shamsha. So for every house, the key will be in the different house. Understand that, okay? We have already done that. I won't repeat it again here. So the first house is answering the question, when will you die? First house is you, self, true. But it also answer you, when will you die? The date of death. The date of death event you will see in the first house. Now, the eighth house will tell you how will you die. Now, many astrologers, they do the mistake. They say eighth house is of longevity, eighth house is of death, eighth house of this, eighth house of that. Don't go to all that nonsense. Okay. Just understand the simple words as I'm teaching here. First house is when will you die? Eighth house is how will you die? It is not death. Eighth house is not the house of death. Eighth house is the house of cause of death. It will tell you the cause of death. Someone will die in hospital but after a surgery. Someone can die after suffering with cancer or some disease. Someone can die in an accident. Someone can die in some riot or terrorist attack. There can be all the different situation for each person. So what we are seeing here is, how will you die? Okay, a very important question. How will you die is coming here in the 8,000. That will be the key to postpone the death. Okay, so, and don't be pessimistic or negative about this. Death is a good thing. Okay, one day we have to, how you get moksha? You get moksha when you leave this body. So that is a good thing. Just it's all about timing. You know, if, for example, if basically we say that having a job is good, but if you give a job to a 2 years old or 3 years old child, whole childhood will spoil. So having job is good, but at least you should be 20. Then you start working. That is a good age. You will enjoy your work. But a child will enjoy play. All, masti, all fun in life. But a mature person must not go for fun only. You have to be serious about your life goals. So everything has a timing. So the same thing is here. When will you die and how will you die? Eighth house. First house is when will you die? The Lagna, the ascendant, the rising Lagna. I am following the North Indian chart here. So the first house will tell when will you die. Eighth house will tell how will you die. Okay. Now, these are some additional houses and planets which you have to understand carefully. Generally, the natural significator of death is Saturn, death and disease. Basically, Saturn is the natural significator of disease. Okay. And also, it is a natural significator of death. Okay. Now, sixth house is suffering due to disease. Sixth house shows you disease and suffering because of that. Okay. Eighth house is unnatural issues. For example, it can be surgery in the medical, okay? It can be accident, it can be suicide, it can be some riots or terrorist attack or something. So when eighth house is involved there is something unnatural, okay? Now, 12th house, that shows hospitals or foreign land, okay? So usually hospitals are there with the 12th house, okay? Now, fifth house, okay, before fifth house, do Saturn. Saturn is the significator of natural death, okay, peaceful, the natural death. Now, Pluto is the significator of unnatural death, okay. Now, let's come to the fifth house. What I have written here, this is what you all need, huh? Resurrection nectar. What is the resurrection nectar? You know, resurrection nectar means amrit or something which make you immortal. So you can get confused. That's why I have written the clear word. Resurrection nectar means a person is almost dead. You are on bed. For example, my live incident in 2009, I was diagnosed with liver failure. My liver was damaged severely. I was almost that kind of situation. Doctor said he won't be able to survive for much longer. Even the highest medical institute in India, AIMS, All India Medical Sciences, the best doctors there, they said no. They said we can't do anything about it anymore. I was almost dead in that situation. Death-like situation was there mentally, psychologically, physically, all way. I was kind of dead. Then my guru, he guided me and focused me on the Yajurveda that find your nectar in there. The herbs, I was able to find them, and that was my resurrection nectar. I resurrected. I got alive again, healthy again. My liver is 100% healthy today. So, that resurrection nectar we all need in that situation. So, what will it be? That will be the fifth house. Okay. Now, let's come to the technique. Okay. Now, see, you all have to check your birth chart. Check what is the lagna there. Is there Aries lagna? Is there Cancer lagna? Is there Libra or Capricorn? They all are movable sign. So if you have Aries, Cancer, Libra or Capricorn in your lagna, in your ascendant, in your rising ascendant, you fall into first category. Okay. If you have Taurus, Leo, Scorpio or Aquarius rising, you will fall in the second category. Okay. They are fixed signs. The common sign are, which are fixed and movable both. That's why they are called common. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. The common signs. Okay. The common sign. If you have Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces in your rising lagna, in your ascendant, you fall in the third category. Now, for all the zodiac signs, second house and seventh house, Marak houses always. They are the, we can say, the death giver houses, basically, the Marak houses. Okay. Badhak houses are different for everyone. Badhak house for movable lagna, for movable signs, ascendant, 11th house will be the Badhak house, the house of obstacle. Okay. Ninth house will be the Badhak house for fixed ascendants, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Seventh house will be the Badhak house for common ascendant, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of this Marak Badhak? Many times I have seen that even the finest astrologers, they make a major mistake here. They think that Badhak house will be obstacle to every event in the life, or Marak house will be the death of every event in the life. That is not true. These houses are specifically studied only and only for the life event, for the lifespan, for longevity. Okay. When you are checking the age of a person, how long the person will live, that you are seeing, in that condition only you have to focus in these houses, otherwise not. Okay. Keep it clear in your mind. So the Badhak houses, they create obstacle to life. Obstacle to life means, again, death is coming there, right? Death like situation is there because of Badhak. Because of Marak houses, again, the death-like situation is there, but more strong than Badak. Okay. So let's understand the technique now. I have already taught you how to find the key for each house, right? You all know that? Okay. So now listen carefully, open both your ears and listen carefully to my each word and try to understand what I'm saying. First house will tell when will you die, okay? How long you will live on this planet. Now, focus where? Focus on your ascendant. What is the ascendant? Aries, Cancer, Libra or Capricorn. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio or Aquarius. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius or Pisces. What is your ascendant? Check that. Check which are the Marak and Badhak houses for your ascendant out of these three categories. For your ascendant, what is the Marak and Badhak houses? Find out that. Now, what you have to do? Take the key of the first house, the key planet of the first house. Now, if it is either the Lord of Marak Badhak houses, or if it is placed in the Marak Badhak houses, or if it is conjunct with the Lord of Marak Badhak houses, understanding the key? The key planet has to either Lord of these houses, or placed in these houses, or conjunct with the Lord of these houses. That is something we have to check. Now, if the key planet is, that is how the planets make connection. Okay, we will do 20, 30 case studies at least. So don't worry about that. All things will get clear. For now, just focus on the theory. Okay. Then we will implement and you will become a master of the technique. Okay. If the key of Lagna making connection with its Marak, Badhak and 6th, 8th, 12th house all together with the 6th houses, if it is making connection, the native will have a short lifespan. Okay, the native will have a short lifespan, means between 0 to 30 years, 4 years here and there will be the lifespan of the native. Now, another condition comes, if the key of Lagna making connection with Marak and Bavadhak, both houses, but not having any direct connection with 6th, 8th or 12th house, the native will have a medium lifespan. Medium lifespan 30 to 60 years. Okay. So the person will live 30 to 60 years. Won't die before that, naturally. Okay. Now, another condition. If the key of Lagna is making any connection with either Marak or Badhak house, not with both, but with any of them. For example, you are a Leo ascendant, okay, and the key planet for it, now for you, the Marak and Badhak will be 279. So the key planet making connection either with the 9th house or with the 27 house, but only with one, not with both, okay, and no connection with 6th, 8th, 12th, then the native will live between 60 to 75, the third category. Okay. The last condition, if the key planet of Lagna having no connection with Marak, Badhak or 6th, 12th house at all, there is no connection at all with any of these, the native lives 75 plus years. Now, if you find the last condition fulfilling in your chart, because I know all of you, all students are like that, we first open our own chart, right? That is a habit. So you will just check your chart. And if you find the last condition, okay, it's a lottery time for you. You have won a lottery. You will live more than 75 years. Okay, it's good. But if you fall in any category below, like all other three categories, then now what you have to check, that is the predicted age, that at this age your life can complete, means you can die. Now you have to see what will be the reason of death. Okay. If it's making the connection with sixth house, because of, now we go to, for the reason, we go to the eighth house. Okay. So eighth house will tell you how will you die. By ascendant, you have understood when will you die, but how will you die? That is also a big question. So we see if it's the eighth house key planet making any connection with sixth house, the death is due to disease, the suffering because of disease. Okay. Now, if it is with the eighth house, then it can be surgery, it can be suicide, it can be. Now, again, you have to check the condition of Lagna also, that if the person is a strong attitude, a strong confident, then suicide won't come in play. Okay. Also, the planet we have to see. If the planet is moon connected to eighth house, definitely depression will be the reason. See, eighth house is called the basement house, where you feel suffocated, you feel depressed inside and alone. So if it's eighth house, there can be suicide, there can be riots. Mars gives you right issues, riots and terrorism attack, etc. So eighth house will give you unnatural death. 12th house will be in hospital. So the death will be in hospital, in ICU or such situation, ventilator or something will be there. Okay. We are not here talking about general hospitalization. We are talking about the serious hospitalization and death due to that. Okay. Now, this is the basic key, that how you find out when and how you will die. But have we got anything from it? No. I'm still going to die with the same reason at the same age. What was the prime focus? What we promised ourselves while starting the lecture? We said we will learn the technique how to postpone the date of that. For that, you have to focus on another house, the fifth house. Okay. So for fifth house, in yesterday class, I gave you one specific point, and I said that tomorrow we will learn it in detail. That why I specifically said that. Out of all the houses, the key of the fifth house is the very, very important planet in your chart. Okay, that is very, very important planet, because that will tell you how you will be able to kick away death from your life. Okay, that planet, whatever planet is the key of the fifth house, will actually tell you that how you can postpone your death. For example, okay, you find out that the way you will die, for example, in the hospital. Okay, we can see there that you will die in a hospital, and you will be in ICU or such situation. Okay, now, fifth house key planet is, for example, Jupiter. Immediately you will say that you have to go to allopathy hospital. There are hospitals. See, when we talk about 12th house and hospital, we always say, okay, there is just one hospital, the allopathy hospital. There is not just one hospital. There are Ayurvedic hospitals also. There are homeopathic hospitals also. The people who only perform homeopathic treatment, they are in those hospitals. That is also a hospital. Okay. So what kind of hospital you have to go in? Whenever you have the alarm that I'm feeling not well, this can be a death attack. What should you do? You should immediately go to the place, to the solution represented by the planet. Sun become the fifth house key. Now what should I do? Sun is there. Sun represents sun therapy. So you need to now, if you see that, can't you change that from starting? I personally saw sun there. Now what I started doing every day, okay, do sun therapy, do Surya Namaskara in the morning, and automatically you are postponing it. What you need in that moment, you need more vitamin D. Understand the source of that. Sun becoming there, sun is saying you need more vitamin D, because the vitamin D deficiency will cause the viral infection, and for that you will have to go to hospital, you will get admitted, there will be develop a autoimmune disease in you. It will be killing you from inside. So what you have to do in that situation? You have to prepare for that before, and you can actually postpone the death. I hope the technique is clear, the theory is clear to all of you. Now, in the class, we will do case studies. You can also take the charts of your family, for example, your husband, your wife, your children, your parents. You can take those charts also. Okay. I will give 20 charts, which I have. Then I will take charts you give, and we will practice the same technique on all of those charts, and we will understand the how the technique actually works, and maybe we will be, and not maybe but surely we will be able to help those people live a healthy, happy life for more than 100 years. Bless you all.